Yo, yo, yo. Good morning. What is up, Pulse Nation? I'm your host, Steve Ivy. You're back on Crackers College Hoops with another deep dive on the Pac-12 winning Pulse. Today, we're going to break down the 26-27 Colorado State Rams in year two under head coach Ali Farokhmanesh. Retention is the key story as they jump into the Pac-12. We'll cover their recent history, the loaded returning roster, the projected starting lineup, and the expectations for how what I think we'll see over the course of the season. So before we get into it, though, it would be remiss of me not to mention that I got to bring this up. This Ali Farokhmanesh in a chef's hat, and it's much more appropriate than I knew. This was just a theme of what Ali is cooking, but after putting out the thumbnail, I subsequently found out, and I do have some serious inside info, that around his own house, Ali's wife, Mallory, often refers to him as Chef Boy Ali. So anyway, Chef Boy Ali, what is he cooking? So I just wanted to share that, everybody. Good way to start the day. So let's go. Let's talk about the last 5 seasons at CSU. And I spend a lot of time just talking about the last 5 seasons for everything, because that's when the game has changed. The portal era really began. The transfer and not sit out came as a result of a ruling in 2021. So the 2022 season was the first year. That's the last 5 years. So since 2022, CSU has been a model of consistency in 2022, 25-6 record, second place in the Mountain West. Great non-con. We talked about the importance of the non-con yesterday. CSU was great in 2022. We're a 6th seed in the NCAA. Unfortunately, they lost in the first round to Michigan. 2023, 15-18. They got caught with their pants down. Their player of the year, Mountain West player of the year, David Roddy, was not sure he was going to stay in the draft. At the last minute, he said, yes, I'm staying in the draft, was drafted in the first round by the Memphis Grizzlies. CSU was caught short at his position. And then the best returning player, Isaiah Stevens, broke his foot in the preseason. CSU struggled and went 15-18, 6-12 in the Mountain West. 23-24, they returned to the NCAA tournament. 25-11, great non-con, but only 10-8 during the conference schedule. Got into basically the last team in the tournament. Went to the first 4, beat Virginia in the first round. Lost to Texas in the round of 64. And then we come to last season, 26-10, Mountain West tourney champs in the NCAA second round. They had a horrible start, had to win the tournament to go to the NCAAs. Went in as a 12 seed, beat Memphis in the first round, and then the last second loss to Maryland kept them out of the Sweet 16. So they went to the round of 32. 25-26, 21-13, NIT and Coach Ali Farokhmanesh's first year. So we've seen multiple NCAA wins, Mountain West tourney title, NBA talent, 2 first-round draft choices in the last 5 years, David Roddy, and last year, Nick Clifford, who transferred in from Colorado and stayed 2 years at CU. So a strong foundation. Year one, let's get into the Farokhmanesh era. It was kind of a whirlwind when Coach Farokhmanesh took over. CSU lost to Maryland on a Sunday. On Monday, head coach Nico Medved announced he was heading to Minnesota. On Thursday, Ali Farokhmanesh was announced, and he was the obvious successor to Nico Medved. He was announced on Thursday, introduced at a press conference on Friday. But he was walking in a situation where he lost 7 of his top 9 to eligibility and the portal, retained 3 bigs, Kyle Jorgensen, Nicole Ajapa, and Rashawn Mbemba, and had to go hard and fast in the portal with purpose, brought in 6 players out of the portal. And year one was really focused on building culture and stability. as I said, 21-13 and an NIT berth. Now, in year two, massive continuity. The Rams are ready to take the leap into the Pac-12. Nearly 60% of the minutes and production from the 25-26 team has returned, and that's what has people excited about the team. So let's get into the roster. We'll spend time talking about the returners. Eight returners, six of the top eight in terms of the rotation. First one I'm going to bring up, Carey Booth. He's in his fourth year. Originally started at Notre Dame, played a year in Notre Dame, played about 20 minutes a year at Notre Dame, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, or 4 rebounds in the 6 points, 4 rebounds in the ACC. His freshman year, transferred to Illinois and pretty much sat on the bench and was pretty much not used at all by Brad Underwood. And he came to CSU, was very, very excited. He was a 55th ranked player in the 2023 recruiting class, very high level recruit, son of NBA star Calvin Booth, who was general manager of the Denver Nuggets as well. Carey last season, in his first full year as a starter, averaged 11 points a game, 6 rebounds, 1 block shot, playing about 25 minutes a game. He's a great 3-point shooter at 6'10". Hit 3+ threes multiple times, and so 40% over, basically a 41% 3-point shooter. Not on the highest volume, but he can make them if he's left open. The second player that was important to come back, and I'm just going to show you pictures of the top 3. Kyle Jorgensen, 6'9" center. Heading to his junior year. He'll be in his 3rd year at CSU. He came to CSU out of Minnesota. Last year, averaged 11.5 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in 25.5 minutes. Another 40% plus 3-point shooter, multiple games with 3+ threes. Had a season high 5 threes, accomplished twice versus good teams, Utah State and New Mexico. Third key player that I'm going to bring up, Jase Butler. Jase, another transfer, came in last year in the portal from Washington, originally recruited by Illinois. They had an assistant coach leave that he was close with. He asked for a release. Brad Underwood released him. He went and had a season under Danny Sprinkle at the University of Washington, top 100 recruit, 6'4" guard. Last year, averaged about 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal in about 26 minutes a game. Again, another 40% plus 3-point shooter, shot 41% from 3. The thing that's important to know about Butler is he got elevated into a starter about halfway through the season, scored in double figures in 7 of his final 8 games, 25-point game against San Diego State. And then in the first round of the Mountain West Conference tournament, 20 points, 9 rebounds, and he made 6 threes against Fresno State. Over the course of the last 10 games, he averaged about 14.5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Very, very strong season. Those are the 3 guys that are going to be the central core of the team. I think the top players. But let's talk about some of the others because they're very important too. Returning from last season, spent his junior year at CSU after transferring from Marist. Josh Pascarelli, a 6'3" guard, averaged 10 points per game, 2.8 rebounds, 1.4 assists, averaged about 26 minutes a game. Another 40% plus 3-point shooter. That's a common theme for this CSU program. They are a great shooting team. He is an elite shooter, had multiple games with 3+ threes. His season high, he made 8 threes in a game twice, accomplished in back-to-back games. He went 8 for 8 against the top 50 American Conference champion South Florida in the Bahamas, and came back home and in a rivalry game against Colorado, shot 8 for 10. So a back-to-back game, 16 for 18, an elite 3-point shooter. Rashad Mbemba returns. This is a 4th-year player, a senior forward, 6'7", out of Austria. Last year, injury riddled, had started the previous year in the 25 season, uh, was suffered multiple injuries last year, only played about 17 minutes a game, averaged about 8 points and about 4 rebounds. He's a force in the paint when healthy. Freshman year came on as a sub. This is a good player. Came on as a sub, outplayed Creighton's Ryan Kalkbrenner, who is playing in the NBA now. He's not much of an outside shooter. It doesn't take a lot of them, but he made 3 against New Mexico last year, left wide open. He's pretty good. And then the sixth key player out of the rotation return is Jojo McIver, who was a freshman guard, 12 minutes a game, showed flashes and showed he's ready for a bigger role. There were a couple of key losses. Let's just I do want to mention the losses. They lost leading scorer Brandon Rechsteiner, who transferred, played 1 year, came out of Virginia Tech, spent a year at CSU, transferred to Kansas State, and then veteran guard Jev Muniz, 9 points, 5 assists a game, who graduated. Muniz led the Mountain West in assists last year, so a very, very good distributor, played primarily small forward. Those of you who aren't familiar with CSU, it's a 5-out system. Positions 1 through 4 are often interchangeable. It's only the 5 that really plays more like a center. Anyway, they lost other depth pieces to the portal. Augie Kiadulis, Darnell Slater, Nicola Joppa, John Baconin, they all moved on mostly for playing time. They were going to get limited minutes. So I want to talk about the portal ads. Remember the part I talked earlier about getting caught with the pants down when they lost David Roddy in 23, and they weren't really ready. They didn't have a strong enough lineup. Well, Ali is not going to get caught with his pants down now. He began talking to players on his team as early as January to gauge if they were planning to return. So he knew he was losing Jev Muniz to graduation. He was prepared to lose Rechsteiner, who was a little more of a shooting guard than a point, even though he played the point. And so he went in with the purpose of the portal of replacing the versatility and distribution of Muniz and the dynamic scoring of Rechsteiner, and to improve the rebounding profile of the team. And he picked up 2 players out of the portal. One, Justin Menard, a 6'3" guard, played sophomore year with Marist, which is where Pascarelli came from. Justin was an all Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference performer, averaged 13 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.3 steals, shot only 36% from 3, but 93% free throw shooter. He had played his freshman year at Iona, took a little time to settle in at Marist, but caught fire late. And this is what's intriguing about him, averaging nearly 19 points a game over his final 8 games. And then the other player out of the portal is a young man named Amondo Miller Jr., Colorado native. He comes to CSU from Lubbock Christian. He was a Division II All-American, 6'7", 215 pounds, averaged 21 points, 8.5 rebounds. He began his career at the University of Colorado, transferred to a D2 Fort Lewis College, then headed to Texas, where he finished at Lubbock Christian. And as I said, averaged 21 and 8. CSU has had a lot of recent success with Division II All-American transfers. They've had 3 in the last 5 years that have been very integral parts of their NCAA tournament teams. So I also want to bring up the recruiting class. I know I'm going a little longer. I know a lot about this team, so it's real easy and real natural for me to talk about them. CSU has the best recruiting class in their program history. We know about Gonzaga. I've talked about Gonzaga's dynamite recruiting class. CSU, they're ranked about 20th in the country. CSU ranked 41st nationally, led by their highest rated recruit as a prep, Greg Pops Dunson. A point guard who's a dynamic scorer, averaged 18 points and 5 assists per game. He's out of the state of Georgia. He was recruited by Auburn. He's joined by Eric Fiedler, the Gatorade Player of the Year in Colorado, 6'7", 215 pounds, a very lethal scorer, recruited by Colorado and Stanford. They're adding Jaden Goreshi, a 6'9", 215-pounder from Mount Spokane Prep in Washington, one of the top players out of the state of Washington, recruited by St. Mary's and Washington State. And then the fourth and the most recent addition just came in the last 2 weeks, kind of a late bloomer, 6'10", 250-pound center, Jackson Clark from Iowa. He was the Iowa 3A Player of the Year, smaller classification, averaged 28 points and 18 rebounds. Every one of these freshmen is slotted behind veterans. Any PT will have to be earned by them, but Ali has shown a willingness to push young players into prominent roles. So we'll see what happens with the class. So anyway, let's go starting five. And here's my where it is. There's my starting five. Projected starting lineup, gang. I could be wrong, but this is who I think. I think at point guard, we're going to see Justin Menard. He's a distributor. He can score, but he's very much a distributor. Very heady player, very good defender as well. Shooting guard, Jase Butler. Butler came on, as I said, last year. That was the theme for a lot of these players. They got better as the season went on. It was really their first year playing, and a lot of times it takes half a season to get going. Butler really played well in the second half of the year. Small forward, Amondo Miller, brings veteran leadership, and he'll bring rebounding to the team. Carey Booth, athleticism at 6'10", great shooter, and shot blocker. Kyle Jorgensen at center, good shooter, good rebounder, good passer as well. Key backups, MacIver and Pascarelli and Mbemba, all experienced. MacIver at the point, Pascarelli to come off the bench with, like I said, dynamic scoring, unbelievable three-point shooter. Mbemba has been a starter. I think he'll come off the bench this year and offer very, very valuable minutes in the paint. And then you're looking at redshirt freshman Dr. Tedeschi, a 6'9" wing, Eric Fiedler and Jackson Clark as possible backups. Don't rule out Pop Stunson either. As I said, dynamic freshman. He'll get a chance to play his way in. So that's what I see as the starting lineup. Just let's talk floor and ceiling. I mean, I'm pretty high on this team, but the floor, they could end up looking a lot like last year. They could be a 20-win team and an NIT team if they don't show growth in key areas. Last year, there were some inconsistencies on offense. Some games they were dynamite. Some days where they were slow and missed shots. They had a penchant for turnovers at the wrong time. Turnovers were a little high. Inconsistent on-ball defense. They needed to upgrade in terms of the ability to guard the ball on the perimeter to put opponents' offenses to make them stick a little bit. And then a little softness in the paint and on the glass. They need to improve their rebounding. So the ceiling of this team, I think top three in the Pac-12, 24-8, NCAA at-large bid. What's going to drive that? The team's got to be more connected defensively, like the 2025 team developed. They have got to do their off-season work in the weight room to get tougher in the paint and on the glass. That's going to be the critical thing, just building up physically. But the combination of retention and development and elite recruiting makes them a sneaky good tournament level team. So there it is, the 26-27 Colorado State Rams. Ali's got it cooking in Fort Collins. Let's take a look at the comments. Let me leave your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. So here we go. I saw this comment earlier. This came in before I started the show. Interested in the women's side of the Pac-12. I am too, but I don't have the time to put into it. I would love to take the time. I'm a former CSU women's season ticket holder, and I'm very close with the head coach, Ryan Williams. I've played a lot of golf with Ryan. He's a great guy. I just don't have the time to go in depth like I prefer to, and so I'm looking for somebody. If I can find somebody, I will produce a show. If I can find somebody that takes the time to go in depth. So here's another comment. Let's go, baby. Thank you, Jacob Kennedy. Come on, guys, give Steve a like if you want to see him wear your team's hat when he talks about a certain team. Yeah, I've got a great comment. Steve Vols, thank you. I need to invest in hats and caps from different teams. Right now, I don't know if you can tell, my hat is an official, got the Crackers College Hoops logo on it. And is that the wrong side? Let's take it off. Got the Pac-12 logo on it too. So very fancy, don't you think? But yeah, I'm more than willing to wear teams hats. So here's a question here: how many 20-win teams in the new pack? Let's wait. I got to evaluate rosters. Rosters aren't filled yet. We're doing deep dive. CSU's is filled. That's the easy part about doing CSU. They are filled, but we got to also make sure we look at schedules as well. So hopefully lots and lots of 20-win teams. Hopefully the teams that are more in the bottom third will schedule down a little bit, still produce wins. That helps the overall conference strength and helps produce bids. You don't want teams over scheduling and losing in the non-con. That hurts. It in the at the end of the season. So let's wrap it up. I've gone over. I'm sorry. I got carried away talking about the Rams. But before we sign off, just a quick word. Yesterday, there was a lot of word about the recently announced settlement between the Mountain West and the Pac-12 conference. It was a contentious league. It's been a contentious legal battle over exit fees and poaching fees, conference stability, and it's reported both sides have reached an agreement. And my take on this, truthfully, there's no real winners and losers in the settlement. It's just two leagues that fought hard to protect what they built. At the end of the day, it feels more to me like a necessary acknowledgement that it's time to turn the page and move on to bigger, better, newer things. So that's the mindset. And that's exactly why I put this show together. I've had that mindset for a while. Why have I evolved the coverage to cover the new Pac-12 and develop this the winning pulse? Shifting, I used to do Mountain West content, shifting from that Mountain West focus to fully embracing this new expanded Pac-12 era. So the realignment dust in the short term has settled. And now it's just time to focus on the basketball ahead of us in this two Pac-12. And we're just getting started with this community. I do want to acknowledge that. Thank you for all of the kind words that you've been sending me in the comments. Speaking of which, I've got a couple more comments. When are you going to introduce your new Pac-12 gear on the show? You have it. That's it. And then Joey B, turn the page. Yes, it is time to turn the page. Let's move on. Let's start celebrating this new conference we're in. It's going to be a lot of fun, and let's keep the energy going. Keep the ideas coming. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a show based on a suggestion I received from somebody. Remember this: it's our channel. My name may be on it, but it's the community we're building, and I'm having fun doing it, and hopefully you're having fun participating as well. So please, if you're watching at a later time, drop comments in, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Remember, drive fast, take risks. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace, everyone.